What's going on, everyone? Jared Sandler with you. Pre-game news and notes as we get ready for the opener between the Rangers and the Red Sox. 4 games from Globe Life Field, the only time the Red Sox are making a trip here to the Metroplex this year. I want to start with a few news and notes, and then we'll get into Nick Solak, who's going to be the big part of this. I want to also talk about Brock Holt. But let's start with the injury side of things. Chris Davis, in case you missed it, I mentioned this yesterday, but Chris Davis returned to game action, alternate site team yesterday, went 0 for 4. A few weeks ago, or maybe a week or so ago, Chris Young, I think it was, mentioned that once Chris Davis returned, he'd probably need about 2 weeks to get ready to be an option with the big club. I think the other question here, and Chris Young was asked this, he didn't give a definitive answer because he didn't need to, is what is Chris Davis's role? Where does he fit in best? How does he fit in best? You obviously have Adolis Garcia right now, who's playing every day, Joey Gallo. You've got Willie Calhoun, who isn't playing tonight, just getting a night off, but is more or less an everyday player for you at this point as a DH. And then David Dahl as well. He's gotten off to a slow start, and he's going to have to continue to earn those opportunities. But where's the obvious Chris Davis fit? And then the other question is, Chris Davis is a free agent at the end of this year. He's not a part of the future. I know some people said, well, what if he plays well and you can trade him? You're not getting anything for Chris Davis of significance. He's got a big salary for this year that a team will have to take on. If they don't take that on, then maybe you can get a bigger prospect. But still, you're talking about a guy who probably at this point is a DH only, who might not be good against right-handed pitching. There are a lot of things here that you got to figure out. The reality is Chris Davis has not been very good the last 2 years. And so, I would be lying to you if I said I guarantee you Chris Davis will be on the big league roster with some kind of a regular playing time role. Then you have to ask, is there room for him on the bench and all these things? So it's going to be interesting to see. Now, the reality is a lot of times these things, fill in the blank, sort themselves out because someone gets hurt, someone their performance just craters, whatever. So we'll wait and see. But it is going to be an interesting situation when Chris Davis is seemingly ready. Couple surgery notes. Sam Huff had surgery to remove a loose body of cartilage in his right knee on Wednesday. That's yesterday in Arlington. Dr. Keith Meister performed the surgery. He's expected to begin rehab shortly and is expected to be sidelined for about 8 weeks. Ronald Guzman underwent his surgery yesterday on the right knee. It was performed by William Robertson, who is a part of that TMI group and does a lot of stuff with the Stars. He's actually a guy who, if you're listening to the pregame show when Baltimore was in town, Adam Plutko, pitcher for the Orioles, credited with giving him the health he needs to pitch in the big leagues. Anyway, he's not going to have any activity for 6 weeks, and then the rehab program will begin. It's an extensive program, and he is expected to miss the remainder of the season. Yesterday, the Rangers made a very, 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 very minor move. They traded minor league righty Leon Hunter to the Mariners for a player to be named later or catch considerations. Hunter, out of North Carolina A&T, was a 35th round pick back in 2019. All right, let's get into Nick Solak. So Nick Solak having a really good year, right? Got off to a slow start, but has been great of late. He's reached base in 13 straight. Yesterday, reached base 3 times, single, double, hit by pitch. Obviously, 7 home runs. No longer tied for the American League lead, but he's right up there. So one thing that when Nick Solak came over from Tampa, everyone said was, this guy's really good at hitting the elevated fastball. And that's significant because what's been kind of the biggest shift philosophically from a pitching standpoint of the last few years is the emphasis on attacking up in the zone, especially with the launch angle generation and the uppercut swings. The uppercut swing has a tough time getting to the elevated fastball. They now feast on the low pitch. That's one reason why the sinker is not as prevalent of a pitch, because it plays into the launch angle generation. But Nick Solak, kind of a reverse. He struggled with the low pitch, was good with the high pitch. And it for Nick, and asking some people and doing some research, I looked and I saw, wait a second, fastball is low in the zone. Nick's always been pretty good. Has he been the best in the league? No, but he's what are you talking about? And talking to folks, they say, well, it's not the straight pitch. It's the low pitch that's got a downward tilt to it, a downward action. So a breaking ball, a curveball, slider, maybe the occasional changeup that has drop more than it does fade or split or something like that. But predominantly, think curveball, slider, low third of the zone. And then obviously, maybe the ability to lay off the pitch below the zone. So I did some digging, and, that actually is an area in which he has improved upon. It's something that they have emphasized. He's changed the mechanics of his swing. Chris Woodward described his old swing as a steep swing, something that could get to the pitch up here, but not to the pitch down here. That's my neck. You know what I mean? Low in the zone. Now he's a lot better at getting those pitches. So when you look at the curveballs, the sliders, the pitches that have a profile of a vertical drop, a downward action in the low third of the strike zone, Nick Solak in 2019 hit 231, slugged barely over 300 with a WOBA of about 227. Last year, 2020, 222 average, no slug at all, 222 slug, and a WOBA below 200. And for those of you weighted on base average WOBA, think of it similar to a batting average. If you're maybe with a little bit of a exchange rate, but basically you want your WOBA in the 300s, 400s. If you got a 330 WOBA, 350 WOBA, that's great. 300, not bad, right? Now this year, and again, small sample, 500 batting average, 1,000 slug, 639 WOBA. And WOBA kind of indicates that the batted ball profile, the way he's actually hitting these pitches is making a difference. And, whether they're hits or outs, that he's driving the ball. So, you want to ask, well, what's different about Nick Solak? How's Nick Solak gotten better? Nick Solak's gotten better because of his ability now to hit the breaking ball that exists in the low part of the zone. All right. Colby Allard yesterday pitched really well, was asked this on the postgame show. Figure it's a fair question to throw out here. I don't know the answer to it. Has Colby Allard turned a corner and back to a guy who's a candidate for the rotation, or is this a guy who's maybe best used in this current role? He certainly has looked really good. He's allowed 2 runs this year over the course of his outings. He's allowing less than a base runner per inning. Last year, he was really, really poor across the board. He became very fastball cutter happy, became incredibly predictable, went away from the changeup and the curve. Even if those are no longer impact pitches, just showing them and using them allows the other pitches to play up. And not only did he become predictable in usage, he became predictable in location of those pitches. So Colby Allard has not had an outing greater than 3 innings in length. And I think the most batters he's faced in an outing is an 11. So that means that the worst or the most he's done is 1 time through the rotation plus 2 hitters. I think the fair question to ask is Colby having the success because this is his best role, facing guys 1 time and that's it? Or is he just a much better pitcher to the point where he can go back to being a 5-6 inning guy or a candidate for a traditional starter's role? I think, and I hope that at some point this year, he'll get the chance to go through a lineup twice, maybe 3 times, and see whether or not these adjustments translate. But I can't say that right now. I am incredibly confident that Colby Allard is for sure 110%, no questions asked, back to being on a starter's path, simply because the big challenge for him was predictability. And a lot of times predictability, if it doesn't come to the fore first time through, will certainly do so second time through and very much third time through. And if he hasn't done anything on the mound to address that we've been able to see, then it's tough to know. But I would like to see him get that opportunity. Finally, a little bit from around Major League Baseball. And I was just thinking about this yesterday. Mike Trout, last game here, we were talking about how he's maybe having the best month of his career. Bryce Harper having an incredible start to his season. You've got a bunch of young guys who are so fun and exciting, doing special things. Acuna Jr., Tatis, all this hype and excitement around Juan Soto. And I know he's hurt right now, but still, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., 3 home run game. You got Jacob deGrom doing things that have taken our attention away from Corbin Burns, who set a major league record for most strikeouts without issuing a walk to start a season, and guys like Garrett Cole, who's setting records. And you got so much talent and really a lot of young talent. Who the heck knows? Seriously, who knows about all this? It is very disappointing. Last night, Freddie Freeman struck out against Anthony Rizzo, and a quirky baseball weird matchup. 2 friends, 2 of the best first basemen in baseball, one on the mound, one in the box. And it seems like guys are having more fun playing the game than ever before. It seems like that wall has been broken where now you're allowed to have fun and express yourself. What's baseball doing to promote this and show this? This is where baseball's really got to improve, because right now, yeah, are there parts of this game that can be improved upon? Absolutely. But from an entertainment and a joy standpoint, this game is as good as it's been in a few years and has the opportunity now to really get better with some minor tweaks to improve the on-field product. There you go. That's our game preview. The Rangers and the Red Sox, the former Ranger Martin Perez against Kyle Gibson, the pitching matchup. Talk to y'all later.